Hey everyone, Road to Retire, the channel where I try to retire early with the help of side hustles. And I also talk about personal finance, investing, and lifestyle goals along my journey to retire early. If that thing is for you, then subscribe and follow it. So we are talking about my dividend portfolio today. Now, let's just give the general legal disclaimer crap out of the way early. I am not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. It should never be treated as financial advice. Don't copy my trades at all, please. Now, with the generic crap out of the way, I'm going to go the extra mile and say you should absolutely not copy my portfolio. You should not try to follow my trades. Not that I post my trades actively anyway. This portfolio is for a very niche part of the population, I guess you would say, because I need high current income and I need it now. Part of the reason that I want to retire early is because I have a condition called polycystic kidney disease, where the average life expectancy is 65. And the fact that I'm 33, going to be 34 soon, I look at it very morbidly and my life is halfway over, but I don't want to be working in a cubicle till I'm 60 and then die shortly thereafter. And I want the high income right now to cover bills. So that is why my portfolio is insanely aggressive, and I would never ever recommend anyone follow this type of portfolio. If you're going the traditional route where you plan on retiring at 60, 65, in my opinion, you shouldn't even be invested into dividends at all. They're incredibly tax inefficient. But like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. That's just my opinion. And that all being said, let's get into my portfolio and how I handle my dividends and bill paying power. So here is how I am structuring my portfolio now and for the future. Each individual expense in my monthly budget, with the exception of this line item right here, my wife's cell phone, Sam's Club, Xbox, which got lumped into one. I don't know why, don't ask me, but each individual line item will get its own ticker. And I don't have it built out for all of these down here, but there's a couple reasons why I'm doing this. One of them is to make it easy to track, because mostly all of these funds that I owned are covered call ETFs, and they have not so consistent payouts. So it's not going to be like, oh, you get 20 cents a share every single month, and it's very repeatable unless they do like a minor raise in the future. These can range anywhere, like SPY is a great example. I get anywhere from the $12.50 that I need a month all the way up to $16 that I've gotten. And what I end up doing is that I very conservatively estimate the dividend, and I will try to reinvest the rest that I don't need back into that fund. So let's take this as an example, right? My Amazon Prime membership cost amortized out to $12.30 a month. So when SPY's dividend comes in for the month, let's say it is $15, right? I will take out the $12.30 and put it into my savings account, waiting for the Amazon Prime annual invoice to come in to spend it. But the remainder of that, what is it, $2.70? The remainder I will reinvest right back into the fund. And now it's a small amount, but over time that could quickly add up. And as you fund more and more little piece into it, that little chunk of excess could grow and grow and grow. And the reason that I do this is, one, I want to be super conservative, and I don't want to overestimate what I'm going to be getting from these ETFs or these covered called funds. I don't want to overestimate what I'm going to get from them, and then I don't have enough to cover that bill, and then I have to reinvest back into that individual fund. Super conservative, but it's also a measure to keep against cost inflation, because what if Amazon Prime raises their price and then all of a sudden it goes to $14 a month that I have to be saving for that? Well, I've been really covering it this whole time. I was just, sandbagging my estimations a little bit and being super conservative, but I was able to cover it the whole time, as long as I kept reinvesting the little chunks afterwards. The point is, I want to be super safe with this aggressive portfolio as much as I can. Now, I am obsessed with covered called ETFs. I think if you're going to go the high yield route, in my personal opinion, and again, do not copy my portfolio, but in my opinion, that is the way to go. If you're going to go super high yield and taking income now, especially funds that hold the underlying assets. Stuff like all the yield max funds, where it's like they're synthetic or fund of funds, even with the YMAX fund. It's hot garbage. They don't own the underlying asset, and you just lose net asset value like crazy. For these, yes, there is going to be some NAV loss, but the whole point of it is to underestimate how much you're getting, reinvest back on top, because you want to keep throwing a little bit of money here and there into these funds so that you can make up a little bit of that NAV loss. Because with NAV loss, the dividend usually follows slowly down with it. But because you're taking the income now, it's not a huge deal as long as you slowly reinvest back into these funds. So currently, I'm trying to keep a budget of around $4,000 a month for living expenses. I'm doing my best, but we haven't really stress test a budget yet, even though I have all of the likely expenses out here. It's not completely built out to know if it's actually accurate or not. So I'm trying to spend $4K a month, and I'm hoping that everything can get filled up in green here. The ones that are in green, I'm paying my bills right now. So my cell phone, the Ring subscription, Amazon Prime, my wife's cell phone, Sam's Club membership, my Xbox Live monthly, and the internet are currently all being completely funded by my dividends. And as you can see, here are the amount of shares that I currently own. And the next bill that I'm tackling here is the garbage, which is a quarterly bill. But I already own 31 shares, and I'm not even going to reinvest when I get short funded, I guess you want to say. How that was bad terminology, but I'm not even gonna reinvest into the fund even when my account isn't fully ready to handle the dividend expense. I'm going to just take the dividend that I get from the 31 shares, and I'm going to use it to pay off as much garbage invoice as I possibly can. So I am super aggressive with these monthly dividends. I realize that I'm super aggressive. That's why I would never advise you to do this. This is incredibly tax inefficient. However, it's just the way that I want to approach my attempt at early retirement. I would not recommend anyone out there actually try to copy the same style. But hey, you get to watch along and see if this plan ultimately fails or succeeds. I'll let you know if I have to drastically restructure my dividend portfolio because the NAV goes way more south than I anticipated, or the dividends get cut in half or something ridiculous. I'll keep everyone updated to let you know if I make any dramatic changes, so you can follow along and see if this is a smart play or if this was the dumbest thing on earth and you've been calling it out for a while. But nonetheless, Road to Retire. Hope you enjoyed my dividend and expense portfolio breakdown. And by the way, if you're interested in dollar amount, right now I have like $21,000 in this account. So for 21K, I have like 7 bills paid off. Pretty cool. A lot of them are low except for the internet here, but to have 7 bills paid off is pretty darn cool. So Road to Retire. Hope you enjoyed this vid. Subscribe if you did, and I'll see everyone in the next one.